that you made a choice to start doing something for yourself where
Yeah.
your passion lies and that you support completely. And I think that the step to take that decision must be quite difficult
Yeah, it is.
because you lose a lot of certainty and you move over to something with a lot of uncertainties. And
Yes.
the thing that you just said is that you start at zero. That counts for most of us. We all
Yeah.
start somewhere, and yeah, I've fully believe and I support you completely with whatever you want to achieve, and of course with the help of others, even if it's within the same community or
Mhm.
outside of the community. You are networking, and there will always be some people who will find your purpose interesting and want to help you out.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm very happy to hear that things are going to yeah to
Finally, we're going to start it off, right?
yeah indeed.
Yeah. So, in the last session, as we had already, talked about the skin condition and stuff. So let's just start again because again, this video is gonna go out on social platform. So let's start and, let's tell people about who Fareed is and what he has achieved over the year. And the 15-year-old boy who faced this skin condition and how he overcame all those. So I already know a bit about it, but yes, people would like to know. So please go ahead and give a bit of introduction and explain it in a way like whatever you faced or whatever you'd like to share with people.
So this is actually just like last time, only now for yourself,
Yeah,
something like this.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Um, who am I? I'm just a regular man now at the age of 30,
hmm,
and I see myself as no different than anyone else.
yeah,
However, in the past, my self-image was completely turned over. Um, at the age of 15, my entire life, self-image and self-love got uh, challenged in a way that was so difficult to to enter. I was diagnosed with the skin condition vitiligo,
hmm,
and what basically happened was that white patches started to appear on my skin,
hmm,
everywhere on my face, arms, chest, legs, and this was something that I wasn't familiar with. It
yeah,
was so shocking with the sudden change that was happening with my skin.
hmm,
And at that time, before this happened, I was someone who was very proud of himself,
hmm,
especially of his looks. I was very happy with the way I looked, and I always used to look myself in the mirror, always checking out my hair, checking out my
hmm,
face. Is everything okay? Am I presentable? My looks was very important for me
hmm,
when I was very young,
hmm,
and that completely changed when the vitiligo started to appear,
hmm,
and my self-image got destroyed immediately. I became incredibly insecure because yeah, it was something that none of us at that time was familiar with. And when we were visiting the doctor, they told us that it was a skin condition,
hmm,
and it appeared that my autoimmune system was attacking my cells that were making the pigment in your skin.
yeah,
And they were only able to give it a name, but they
hmm,
were not able to tell how exactly it got triggered and what we could do about it. There were
yeah,
some treatments, but those were not 100%. Uh, uh, yeah, those were not a 100% cure for everyone.
hmm,
So there was a chance that things might help.
hmm,
There was a chance that things might get worse, and there was a chance that it would have no effect at all.
yeah,
and the treatment that they were giving me as an option was something with an ointment
Mhm.
to place on the patches on my face. And the other treatment that they gave me as an option was a light treatment with
Mhm.
UVB lights.
Yeah.
And they told me that it had a negative side effect, that it could um, higher the risk of skin cancer,
Yeah.
and which was pretty serious.
Yes.
So it was actually not really a treatment that you
With the
wanna
risk.
do,
Yeah.
and it's not something that you could actually see as a cure if it could trigger some
Something
other
serious.
disease.
Yeah.
What's even worse,
Yeah.
you know. But at that time, yeah, I was 15 years old, and my looks were very important to me.
Mhm.
And I was very social before that. I could talk with everyone. I
Mhm.
was everywhere. I visited all my friends, all
Mhm.
my family members, no matter where they lived. I always
Mhm.
came by. I like to go outside and interact with people. But then, when that happened, I got completely shut off. My whole my whole character changed.
Mhm.
My whole being changed. I turned to be completely someone else, very depressed, shameful of his looks, antisocial, because I honestly did not know how to deal with something like that, you know.
Mhm.
And living in a society where people always look at you for your appearance or
Yes.
point out at people who look differently, you
Yeah.
know, it's difficult to suddenly become someone else, to suddenly look like something else, and especially something that you don't know anything about.
Mhm.
Because every time I went to school, I was afraid of how people were looking at me. Every time I took the bus to school, I was afraid how people passing by would look at me.
Yes.
Or when I went to the supermarket to buy groceries for my mother,
Mhm.
I was afraid how people would stare at me. You know, every public place was for me something, some place that I actually didn't want to be.
Mhm.
But yeah, you're a kid, you have to go to school, you have to be educated.
Yeah.
So going to school and getting back home was actually the only thing that I did at the time. I didn't go anywhere. I did not even learn how to swim because of that
Yeah.
condition.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really gave me some challenges. And even for my family, it was quite a shock. Um, a lot of questions were asked, and there were actually simple questions like, "What is it? What you have?
Mhm.
How did it? Uh, how did it happen?
Yeah.
What can you do to get rid of it, to get
Mhm.
normal again?" You
Mhm.
know, simple questions. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not have the answer to any of them. And having no answer to any of these simple questions was so frustrating.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was just difficult for others to accept that I did not have any answer. So they kept pushing and pushing. Like, how do you don't know? Haven't you gone to the doctor? What does the doctor say? Why doesn't the doctor know? Is the good doctor? Go there, visit him, visit her.
Mhm.
You know, so there are always some people who are very curious, or people who know better than you. You know, so I also had those type of people nearby. So it was not always very easy
Mhm.
dealing with, yeah, simple questions like that. But as time went by, it didn't get any easier for me. So I decided to do the treatment anyway. I
Mhm.
was, yeah, I was so depressed and ashamed of myself. And I told my mom, listen, we have discussed this matter before. We have discussed the positive effects of the treatments
Mm-hmm.
and the negative effects.
Mm-hmm.
Even so, I want to try it. I want to give it a try and see how it goes. If it doesn't work out, so be it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it does, then that's that's actually all I want. And she knew how I felt because she saw how I was not being myself anymore. She
Yeah.
saw how I changed as a person. So she gave approval, and we went back to the doctor, who also gave approval.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had to go to the hospital, and they explained us how the light treatment worked. And I had to get the treatment twice a week,
Mm-hmm.
and I did that for several years, which was it became a hassle because you have to go to the hospital twice a week on
Uh-huh.
fixed times, and at the beginning stage you have to go through a lot, and the treatment itself would only last a few seconds,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to build it up.
Yeah.
And years later, I was like about 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30
Mm-hmm.
minutes in the room for the treatment. And every time I finished the treatment at the later stage,
Mm-hmm.
my skin got burned heavily, and it
Wow.
got burned treatment after treatment after treatment. And I was like, this is not a good sign. I have to listen to my skin. The
Yeah.
treatment is uh, it became too hard on my skin. So I decided to stop the treatment,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe that was maybe 4 years later
Mm-hmm.
that I stopped the treatment. But at that point, it did have a positive effect.
Yeah.
My vitiligo at that point disappeared for over 90%.
Okay.
So there was only small places of vitiligo left
Mm-hmm.
on my body,
Mm-hmm.
and I was satisfied with the results. I was like, you know what? If my body cannot handle it anymore, so be it. I'm completely satisfied with the results.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that's why it was easier for me to say, let's stop now and live on with it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's actually how um, yeah, how the vitiligo got reduced on my skin. I believe I was at the age of maybe
19, I guess.
18.
18,
Yeah,
19. Yeah. Okay.
18, 19, somewhere
Mm-hmm.
like that age.
Yeah.
But then really fast, maybe within a couple of months,
Mm-hmm.
the vitiligo started to come back, and it came back rapidly, and I was so shocked and disappointed with the the comeback of the vitiligo. Like,
You have already given 4 years, right, to it, to you just see
yeah,
those patches going off, and then suddenly, all of a sudden, it starts coming up. Obviously, I mean that's something unexpected. So, yeah.
I felt defeated.
Mm.
It was something like you work so hard, just as you
Yeah.
say, so long for it to recover, to recover your skin,
Mm-hmm.
and to get your own self back again.
Mm-hmm.
And during the time that the vitiligo started to reduce, my self-confidence started to come back step by step.
Mm.
And also during that time, I was getting deeper into self-confidence and mindset, but it was still a beginning stage.
Yeah.
So I did not always understand the messages that were giving
Mm-hmm.
when I was reading things about mindset
Mm-hmm.
and self-confidence, self-love. At that time, I was addicted literally addicted to The Secret.
Yeah, you told me
And
about that. Yeah.
yeah, it really helped me a lot
Hmm.
getting with keeping my senses. I believe
Yeah.
if I haven't done that, I think I would become completely mad.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would really have lost myself within my depression. So during that time, in combination with the treatments,
Hmm.
I watched a documentary of The Secrets every day,
So,
over and
uh,
over.
was it during the 4 years of treatment that you came across this documentary, or was it after that, like once it started coming back again?
No, the documentary was when I started to develop the vitiligo
Okay.
at the beginning phase,
Okay.
um, because I was introduced by The Secret. I
Mm-hmm.
was introduced to The Secret by one of my cousins.
Mm-hmm.
They were older, they were in the business life,
Mm-hmm.
and they were at that time already into mindset and personal growth.
Okay.
So they told me about this book and documentary of The Secret,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, it's hard for us to see you like this,
Mm-hmm.
so because we know you differently, and maybe this is a tool that will help you to get yourself back together.
Yeah.
So they introduced me to The Secret, and I really hated reading at that time. I disliked books. Reading was not my passion
Yeah.
during that period. And when they told me that there was also a documentary, I was like, yeah, a movie, come on, yes, give it to
That's what
me.
I want. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want. Give me a movie. So watching a documentary was easier for me. It was
Mm-hmm.
more fun. And after the first time of watching that documentary, I was like, whoa, this is so deep. There are so many messages that are
Yeah.
being shared within The Secret. And those messages were not that easy um to get into practice.
Yes.
Um, they speak a lot about managing your thoughts and directing your thoughts to certain things what you want to achieve,
Yes.
but it's not as easy as it gets explained. And
True.
they also actually tell it in the book and in the documentary that
Mm-hmm.
it is not as easy as it is being introduced.
Yes.
There's a technique behind it, and there is true belief behind it, and the law of attraction, the universe, everything else. It's all connected. So it's not wishful thinking. It's really focusing your mind and feeling it.
Everything
Feelings are
has a
also.
pattern. I just remember this from that because I had watched the documentary when I was in college. I have not read the book, but I've definitely watched the
Yeah,
documentary. And it also said that whatever happens, that is inevitable. Like you cannot stop it to happen, but you can
yeah,
definitely change the impact by changing your nature or changing your response to it. So that
indeed.
was really touching. So yeah, when I have watched it,
Yeah.
I have not read the book yet, but I've watched it too.
Nice. Yes. So you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
And
also said last time when we had spoken that your brother was also very great support to you, right? Like including all the people around you. Your brother was a very great support to you. He actually pushed you and then motivated you a lot at different level.
yeah, my cousin
Yeah,
was
your
my
cousin.
my
Yeah,
cousin.
yeah. The
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
who
Indeed.
introduced you to Secret or somebody else.
No, the one who introduced me
All
to The
right.
Secret.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's really great.
because they were really into mindset and personal growth,
Hmm.
and yeah, they knew that I had qualities as well
Yeah.
when it came to sales and business.
Hmm.
So they really wanted to guide me. They wanted to educate me to become better and
Yes.
to be able to manage my mind and my skills. But in order to do that, I had to get myself back together. So
Correct.
that was actually the first steps that I had to
Yeah.
take, getting myself back together before I could actually evolve myself even more.
Yes.
And that was actually the biggest pillar of my journey. The secret was really,
A
yeah,
life-changing thing, I would say, in your
life
life,
changing
right?
tool. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So after things gotten a bit better,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to shift my mind. I was looking for challenges
Mm-hmm.
in order to get things into practice,
Mm-hmm.
because I also recognize that only thinking a certain way will
Mm-hmm.
not help. You have
Yeah.
to act accordingly,
True.
and this in combination will make sure that things will flow within the way it should
Yes.
be, or how you want it
Yes. Yes.
to evolve. So after that, I looked for a job that would challenge me on unbelievable
Mm-hmm.
grounds, and I took a job as a salesman,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a door-to-door salesman
Yes.
and street sales. So I had to go to people's houses, uh, ring on the doorbell or knock on the door.
Mm-hmm.
I, as a stranger, I had to smile
Yes.
on their face and tell them a good story about a product and sell them something, something that they don't want,
Yeah.
and yeah, you are actually disturbing them within their free time or during dinner time. So it was very difficult to do something like that. But I used to be very antisocial,
Mm-hmm.
so I had to do something to
Overcome that.
get
Yeah.
to overcome that and be able to interact with people again.
Yeah.
I was afraid to look others in the eye. I was afraid to have conversations. I was
Mm-hmm.
afraid of how others would look at me. So I have to change all those things by facing all those things.
Yeah.
So I chose to face those challenges by taking a job like that. And also, as a street salesman, you have to stop people who are walking by,
Yes.
and then they're always in a hurry.
Yeah.
People always have to go somewhere, to work, to home, to the grocery store, or wherever they are heading. They are in a hurry,
Yeah.
and still, you have to uh, make them stop, listen to you,
Mm-hmm.
and get them to buy something.
Yeah.
So that actually made me grow my skills as a salesman,
Mm-hmm.
but also as a person. Thanks to that, I was able to become social.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to learn how to talk with my body, with the body
Yeah.
language, and um, I was able to overcome the fact how people would be looking at me or how they were asking questions,
Mm-hmm.
because at that time I actually learned that it doesn't really matter how you look like,
Yeah.
what you have.
Yeah.
People will look beyond that.
Yes.
If you have something interesting to tell or
Mm-hmm.
to share
Mm-hmm.
or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
people will listen to you.
Yes.
This is something that I really learned
Yeah.
during my time as a salesman,
Mm-hmm.
door to door and sales on streets.
Mm-hmm.
So from that moment on, yeah, I decided I want to stay in sales to
Mm-hmm.
develop myself even more,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I did. I'm into sales for 10 years by now.
Oh, you're still into sales and then doing this modeling business along with it?
Yeah, I still
Awesome.
have a part-time job as a salesman,
Okay.
and the modeling business is aside from this, and also the charity foundation is also aside from this.
Awesome.
So I have
So,
three things going on actually.
So,
Yeah.
did you come across any person, you went on knocking on the door and then, selling them a product and they recognize you? I've seen you somewhere. Are you that model? Have you come across
Uh,
any?
no, because this was when I was, I believe, 19
Mm-hmm.
or 20, I believe, somewhere in that age.
Uh-huh.
And the modeling was only since 2019.
All right.
So
So
those
you
two
just
things
started.
were,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that was too long ago. So I wish I was a model back then. Well,
So,
I believe I would not be able to do it. You know,
mm-hmm.
uh, I I was too young with a different state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I also believe that things come at the right time. Things
Yes, they
happen
do.
for a reason,
Yeah.
and yeah, people come and go for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I was given the opportunity to model
Mm-hmm.
in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
I believe that that was also the best moment
Yeah.
that it came on my path.
So how did it happen? Like you were into the sales business, and how did this modeling, like somebody approached you, you were discovered, or how did it happen?
It's pretty funny actually.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have my own agency.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have my own entertainment agency
Okay.
when back in 2015.
All right.
So I was working in the entertainment and music business.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a artist manager.
Mm-hmm.
I helped startups, starting musicians
Mm-hmm.
with their music career, also DJs.
Mm-hmm.
And aside from that, I had a modeling agency
Mm-hmm.
where artists could hire models to dance in
Mm-hmm.
their video clips,
Okay.
or clubs could hire models also to share candy,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
or to if they did not have anyone left to bring the drinks to the table,
Mm-hmm.
they could hire also
Okay.
girls from my agency to fill
Mm-hmm.
in for their employers.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that's a barista, something like that
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in English.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so yeah, I had that agency for about 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and during that time, I created a big network of people
Okay.
in photography, of
Mm-hmm.
people in music business, and models. I created a very large network within those
Mm-hmm.
years, and somewhere in 2019 or at the end, yeah, at the end of 2018,
Mm-hmm.
I was at a shoot for one of my models,
Mm-hmm.
and the photographer was asking, "Hey, would you like to have a small shoot as well?"
My
I
goodness.
was like, "Sure, why not?" but I knew the photographer. You know, it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
a friend of a family member,
Uh-huh.
so we were just having fun and doing some things in
Mm-hmm.
between. And the pictures were really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I published those pictures online on social media,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't working on vitiligo awareness yet at that
Mm-hmm.
point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but when I published those pictures along with hashtags with vitiligo, vitiligo
Mm-hmm.
skin condition,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
it got seen by more people with vitiligo. And you know how Instagram works with the
Yeah.
algorithm and with the hashtags. So um, it got seen by more people,
Mm-hmm.
and people were starting to reach out to me on Instagram and
Mm-hmm.
share stories
Mm-hmm.
about their vitiligo and wanting to hear my story about my vitiligo.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, whoa, this is something that really has an impact, you know?
Yeah.
Stories like that, and people who have been through the same thing as I have been through, or people who are still going through the same thing. Even though that I was able to get myself over the challenge. People are still having the same challenge, the
Mm-hmm.
same struggles.
Mm-hmm.
So that really got me thinking that, just by publishing some pictures,
Mm-hmm.
that people are getting motivated by those pictures.
Yeah.
So I I contacted another photographer for
Mm-hmm.
another shoot,
Mm-hmm.
and also those results got shared on, got published on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got more people with vitiligo who seen the pictures
Pictures.
and
Yeah.
more stories that were shared.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, whoa, this is really impressive. And shortly after that, I got tagged on Facebook
Mm-hmm.
in a post where this agency was looking for a vitiligo model.
Wow.
And people who knew that I had vitiligo, they were
Mm-hmm.
tagging me into the same post. I had um, few tags in the same post. So
Mm-hmm.
I reached out to them, and maybe 2 days later, I had received word from them,
Mm-hmm.
and they told me that it's quite a coincidence that I sent them an email to apply because they saw how many times I got tagged in their post, and they were
Mm-hmm.
also planning to reach out to me as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they offered me to join their agency and have a test shoot to see how things go.
Mm-hmm.
I accepted and did a photo shoot with them to
Mm-hmm.
see how they work and to get a feeling of
Yeah.
modeling.
Yeah.
And this was so much fun, and they were so excited, and I was so excited. And also those results were so amazing that I told them that if I'm going to do this, then I want to do this with a purpose.
Yeah.
I want to do this to help people get inspired and get motivated
Mm-hmm.
with the same condition as I have.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's for me, it's not important how it will end up or where it will end up, because um, for me, I do it with a mission.
Yes.
As long as I can accomplish that mission, then
You're in
everything
for
is
it.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, and they were very happy to hear that, because that agency stands for diversity.
Mm-hmm.
So they only have models who stand out,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
are not like the normal
Common
standard
people.
model.
Yeah.
Indeed.
That's
And
great.
in the same period,
Mm-hmm.
there was this kid, a
Mm-hmm.
young model with
Mm-hmm.
vitiligo
Mm-hmm.
here in the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
And his mother was managing his Instagram account.
Okay.
And she invited me once to come look at at a show
Mm-hmm.
where her son was going to work for a brand as
Mm-hmm.
a vitiligo model.
Mm-hmm.
But I was not able to make it because of work.
Mm-hmm.
But I told her I would be happy to support him. So if there is another show, please let me know and I will come. And soon after, she did. Her son was getting another show
Mm-hmm.
here in the Netherlands to work for another fashion designer.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, I was able to make it to that show. So I bought some tickets and I came there to support him.
Mm-hmm.
And at that same place, I was asked by the same agency who are walking there with their models
Mm-hmm.
to join their agency, and they told me to come by
Mm-hmm.
and see how they work and see how see if I fit within the agency and
Mm-hmm.
within the modeling
Mm-hmm.
with the catwalk industry, runway modeling. And I was like, okay, why not? So I also went there to see if, yeah, becoming a runway model is something that I could do.
Yeah.
And I am someone who has the mindset or who developed the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
If there is anything that you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
you can do it.
Yeah.
Just put your mind to it, believe in yourself,
Yes.
and even if you fail, you are still able to do it. Just
Correct.
try again.
Correct.
Even if you fail again, you are still able to do it.
Yes.
Just try again.
Yes.
You know, you just have to keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, and eventually you will able to do what you want to do.
True.
So I went to their training. They had a training
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in, I believe, in the northern of the country.
Mm-hmm.
So it was quite a trip to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I was curious, and they asked me to walk on the runway,
Mm-hmm.
and then they also said, "Whoa, I think you get a feeling for modeling because it suits you well. You know how to walk."
Yeah.
And they gave me some tips, and yeah, they offered me to join their agency as a runway model, and yeah,
Wow.
also for the same reason, I
Mm-hmm.
accepted the offer.
Mm-hmm.
And with that agency is where I got the runway assignments,
Mm-hmm.
and with the other agency, I get the photo shoot assignments.
Awesome. And
Yeah, so that's
isn't it
how.
amazing, Farid, that now when I think of it, everything has a pattern, no, because, and also I believe that everything adds up at the end. I think 2 years back, I was just thinking, when I was with IBM, I was working with them, and not 2 years, I think let's just say 3 years back, I was in Bangalore, and I don't know, somewhat I started getting this feeling that, my time is up in Bangalore. I don't want to be in Bangalore anymore, and I
Okay.
wanted to move to some other city. So I happened to choose Pune. I'm not sure if you know about the place name, but it's somewhere near to Mumbai.
Um,
So I just
yeah.
started I just started getting this feeling that, something is gonna change. And I was really not sure because I had done my college there. I had all my friends there. I had worked for almost say 5+ years there, and I had all my office friends. Everyone was there, but I don't know. I was getting this intuition that my time is up here. I don't want to be in the city anymore. Anybody who asked me why you are taking this transfer to another city, I didn't have. I just said that I don't know. I feel this that I will have to move from this. So
Yeah.
everyone started giving me the suggestion, don't do that. Stay here. We all are here. All your friends are here. And you feel like you have spent so many years, like 5 years of your work and 4 years of your college. It's almost like your second home because I used to just visit my parents once in a year or twice in a year during some festival.
Okay.
Yeah, because we don't
Yeah.
have any, much leaves in IT industry, almost say about 20 or 22 days. So yeah, so I moved to Pune, and I started up with this open mic. I'm telling you, like since my childhood, I have this stage fear. Never ever in my school nor in my college I've went up to the stage and I've said even a word. I've never done it. And I had this writing, I used to write somewhere, or I used to write for my friends, or even just for myself, and I used to keep it to myself. But when I moved to Pune, and a few of my friends, the new friends which I made there, they started to know about this, and even my, my roommate, they started to tell me about this. I knew somewhere that there was some open clubs around Pune where you can go and you can recite your poetry. But I never got that guts. I didn't have that guts that, I cannot do that. I never cannot do that. I cannot even imagine myself standing up on the stage, so many people staring back at me. But I
Yeah.
was in my office and I was following up with this page, Bullock Art Poetry. And they had this open mic scheduled that night at around 9 p.m. So I don't know what came up to me. I just, I think 6 or 7 o'clock, my office got over. I reached my home. I just, put my laptop back there. I booked a cab and I went to that venue. I went to that
Okay.
venue, and
Straight
I was
away.
almost 15 minutes late. And I don't know, that person, the host who was, organizing that venue, the session, he was just calling out name, like somebody who was left to give their name for the open mic. I was just shivering inside. I'm literally, but still, I don't know. I just went up to him and I said, even I want to recite my poetry today. So he wrote my name, and I don't know which number I was in. Like I was the ninth or the eighth person who was going to recite. But the moment somebody was called on the stage, I was getting a heart attack every time somebody was called. Like maybe the next person could be me.
Yeah.
But yeah, they called my name finally. I think I was ninth or tenth person. I went up to the stage, at the moment, that 1 minute of nervousness, everything, when I started talking, when I started reciting my poetry, and I saw so many people looking at me, eagerly listening to me, and the moment it ended, the poetry ended, and heard those clapping, that moment of joy I really cannot express. And I went home and
Yes.
I hugged my roommate and I said, I did it. I did it. I went up to the
Amazing.
stage. Yeah, I went up to the stage and I recited finally. And then I did it over and over again. So it's not that I'm not scared. I'm even scared. I was not so somebody who can, who was very confident and who can just walk up in any room and start up a conversation without any, a lack of confidence. I was not that somebody. But over the years, I started gaining that because now I feel that this is my purpose. This is what I really wanted to do. Even when I was a child, when somebody used to stand in the assembly hall and then they used to recite some verses from the Bible, or, I was in a missionary school. So I used to always think that maybe one day I'll be that person, but I never could,
Yes.
get that courage to do it. But finally, when I moved to the city and I got a lot of opportunity, maybe a small opportunity as well, but that has really helped me out to develop. And this COVID-19, I couldn't attend any open mics, but yes, I got connected with the poetry club. They were running this online sessions. I went up, I recited every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday. Then I got introduced to this writing startup, Paperwave. I worked with them. I saw so many
Hmm.
writers who are, working women's and even house makers, a lot of people. And there are few people who don't know much about technology, but they are still doing wondrous job. They have this eagerness
Yeah.
that I want to be heard. I want somebody to read my things. So I learned a lot, and I thought that maybe I couldn't have come across all these things or so many people around me if I had not taken that step on the stage on the first day of the open mic. I couldn't have done that. And I never would have imagined talking to you, talking to somebody I've never even known, and thinking
Yes.
about some social cause which I want to take it personally. I would have never have thought. So I don't know. I think that now that I sit and then I think that one day maybe somewhere I had sat in my office, building, or on my seat, and I think I had wished that I don't want this job. I don't want to earn money from something which is not giving me happiness. I don't want to,
Yeah.
complete a project which my boss gives me and, complete some target. I really had wished someday that I would get some time just for myself without any responsibilities, without even, thinking that what if I take this? There are so many people who are, relying on me. What about them? But now that I've got this time, so instead of regretting that, oh, I have lost my job, I don't have any financial
Hmm.
stability or anything as such, I'm looking at the positive side. I'm looking that this is what I had wished for, and this
Very
moment,
good.
this time, I can
Yeah.
utilize for something which can really make a change in the society. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not that known person, but if I don't take this step, I'll always sit back and realize that maybe I could have done this. So yeah, I mean, I don't know the what the journey is going to be about, but as you said, that
Hmm.
first step is very necessary, in everyone's life.
Yes.
You have to take
Yes.
that. And if you don't take it, no matter how many people are behind you, they're just going to push you. But if you're not willing to, lift up your leg and, wear the
Hmm.
cape on of your own and move ahead, nobody's going to help until and unless you don't stand for yourself. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
I mean, this the part would be really scary. Even now when I think of maybe down the line 4 5 months, I don't know what I'll be doing, how many sessions I would be conducting, or how many peoples I would be meeting. But I cannot just sit back and just think about the future, what it has in store for me. because I need to make that for myself. So we all have a different journey, as you shared already, and yours seems to be really interesting, I would say, really challenging, taking up a salesman job and then getting into modeling industry. So as I said, everything adds up, right? Don't you think that? I mean,
True.
who would have known? You wouldn't have known, right? Knocking on everyone's door. One day you would end up,
No, no.
no, right? As a model. So
True.
people are going to support you if you, I mean, they need to see that in you, if you're not willing, if you would just sit there, cry about it, and then complain about it, that what has happened to me, people are just going to come there and console you, say, hey, this is going to get over, this too shall pass. But if you show them that you're confident enough, no matter what comes in your way, you are gonna, face it with some the same courage. They're not gonna come there and they're not gonna tell you that, hey, Fareed, you can do it. They're gonna say, we know that you can do it. You just need to start it, and we are there for you. We're not gonna, be there on each and every step that you take. But if you fall down, we are there. We are here, standing right here to, be that support which you might need. But maybe you do not create that situation. You get that support in yourself. You feel that support deep inside you, that I don't need anybody. I don't need anybody to make
True.
me stand. I can stand for myself, but I just need people to witness it, to learn something out of it, as I'm learning from other people, right? So you are, by just by watching your videos, or just by watching your pictures, so many other people got motivated, right? They could
Yeah.
think of something which you've done. They could think of for themselves as well, that maybe he has taken a step, he is doing something which nobody else would have imagined, so even we can do it. So there's always have to be a person to start the change, so that somebody else can see it and start up their own story in their life. So I don't know, this
True.
this experience has been really overwhelming for me, and the things that you've
I
shared.
noticed. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I don't know, Fareed, like really, what came over me, and even now I'm in a deep shit, let me tell you. Like, I don't have any financial support. Like, I earn my own. Like, now leaving my job, it's been almost 3-4 months. And I haven't told my
Mhm.
parents yet about it, that I don't have my job.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't told them yet. I mean, I've told my siblings, I've told my sister, I've told my brother, but I haven't told my mom and dad. And they still think
They
that
will
I'm
freak
working.
out.
Yes, they are going to do that, but I don't know. I just feel happy about what I'm doing right now and what I
Mhm.
plan of doing in coming few months. And I just want to see like where it takes me, and whatever cause that I have in my heart, or whatever things that I want to do for myself, either writing a book or talking to people or creating awareness, whatever it might be. I don't know what it's gonna give me in the future. One thing I'm sure that I'm not gonna go back to that four corner wall and then complete some target and work for my boss. I'm not gonna do that. So that's the you can say
That's the right
resolution.
mindset.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
So
easier
I'm
said than
I'm
done, right?
it's easier said than done,
Yeah,
indeed. I had the same experiences. Whenever I'm not the type who can work for a boss.
yeah,
With all the jobs I had before, I'm very good at following instructions and
mhm,
do what's being expected of me, and even over deliver things, that people did not expect.
yeah,
So I know what I'm worth. I know what I can. I know what I'm able to do.
yeah,
But I feel like I can do so much more when I'm
yes,
just released, do what I want to do
correct,
how I want to do it,
correct,
and fulfill the vision I have here, instead of doing someone else's job,
yeah.
so fulfilling someone else's wishes. So I know exactly how you feel. But what I'm wondering at this point, you say that you don't have any financial income at this moment.
Hmm.
And this is now for what, 3, 4 months?
Yeah, I left my job in September. Yeah, so it's been almost
In
4 months,
September.
4-5 months. Yeah.
But how do you gain your financial
I have
resources?
a few of my savings, so I'm just relying on that. And I'm at my parents' home right now, so I really
Hmm.
don't have to spend much on like a minimal amount would do for now. But let's see. I mean, once I'm back to Pune, I'm gonna search for something related to what I'm passionate about. Not going back
Hmm.
to IT because I know that I have the experience, and if I want, I can take up any IT job. Like I've updated my what do you say, so resume in Naukri or something. I'm gonna get a job, but it's not about money for me right now. Maybe I'm gonna get something which I was getting earlier, or maybe more than that. But still, I would get back to the same place, right? Point zero again. And again, I have to turn back, sit back there, and wonder about what I would have done if I was not in this office, if I was not completing my boss target, what I would have been doing and what I want to do. So right now, for me, what I'm focused on right now is I know I have taken a difficult decision, but just to stick to it is gonna take a lot of courage. And
Hmm.
I'm willing to do whatever sacrifice that comes in my way, but I'm not gonna give up. And I'm scared. Yes, I'm scared that how long I'm gonna do without a job or anything. But you never know what can come on your way. I'm just open for possibilities because I have got things in my life which I had least expected. And I'm not just gonna sit here bothering about what will happen to me in coming future. I'm just worried about what I'm gonna do, which is gonna change the future for me, what I'm really happy about, what I'm really passionate about. Am I following that or not? Because it's high time, right? It's high time that once you realize that you are worth something else, you have the capability to make some changes. And if you're still not doing it, then what's the point of it? Everyone can do that,
True.
what people are doing and sitting in the offices working and making the company earn billions or millions in a year, but you're not doing it for yourself. And I'm not saying that it's bad being an IT professional or an IT engineer. I'm not saying that it's bad. But if you have a dream which is not being part of IT, and if you're still suppressing it just because you have some financial responsibility towards you, and you're just suppressing it, how long are you going to suppress it? One day it's gonna just burst in as a volcano, and you're just gonna be as depressed as if and
Yeah.
nobody is gonna come there, and nobody's gonna understand your situation because they see you as happy as everyone else. They see you as
Yeah.
in a position where you're earning in lakhs, right? Earning a lot of money. And people think that once you are earning a lot, you can afford a life that you want, you are happy. But what they do not understand
It's
is
not always
there's
the
something
case.
else from
Yeah.
your life,
There's so much more beyond.
right?
Yeah.
So
True.
yeah, so I'm
So
just, let's see.
there's another thing that I'm wondering about
Uh-huh.
because you want to do, of course, you want to do a lot more with your passion and with writing
Hmm.
poetry,
Hmm.
and earning money with that would be actually the best thing, I believe.
Hmm.
That's where you want to work to, right?
Yeah,
Earning money with writing and poetry.
yeah.
So I'm wondering if you would be having your own business, what kind of business would that be?
So I'm not thinking of opening any business of mine because I'm
Mhm.
not somebody who can run a startup because I don't have any much experience. Right now, what I have in my mind is I want to take up something related to this anchoring and hosting or anything as such. And also, what I'm going to do, yes, I was going to discuss it with you as well, that I was writing a book and I'm just in the middle of it. Maybe I'm not sure how when I'm going to finish it, but I'm gonna write something about you people as well. So I want a book which I'll be writing, and there are going to be people, like it's not just going to be about one person. So there are a lot of people which I've engaged with, like you and Akash and Jyoti and other people as well. So I'm not just going to start it right away. Let me just get through a few people, like take the session, try to understand what they've gone through, their life experiences. And once I go back to Pune, I'm going to also talk to a few people face to face, right? So I want to understand that each and every individual of you, though you are facing the same condition, skin condition, but every one of you have a different story to tell. Every one of you have
Yes.
walked a different path, though the destination, I would say, or a tag or a flag that you hold is of the same color. Like every one of you are working towards making people aware that looking beautiful or looking amazing is not something which should hold you back. You can get struck with something unexpected, and how do you still stand with the same courage? So that's what I want to discover here. Like, I've spoken to you, you have told me you're part of the story. I'm going to talk to Jyoti. I also know her story, also Akash, also a lot of people. So there are going to be different life journey. And one thing that really, I'm really good about is listening to people and imagining, putting in my own imagination into it, like how their life could be. As you said, like, you were a salesperson knocking on somebody. I could imagine it. I could imagine you wearing that cap, or carrying something, knocking on my door and saying,
Yeah.
hey, this is the product, this is cooking up stories about it. So I'm really, thrilled, or I would say, I don't know, I'm really excited to talk to so many people. So once I'm over a month or a two, once I've spoken to a lot of people, once I have published it in social media, I'm not sure how the responses are going to be, but I don't care about it because I'm working for the right cause. That's really what keeps me going. Down the line, after 1 or 2 months, I'm going to start approaching people again, like you, and personally know a lot about your life and write something about it. Like, say, suppose I'm going to
Mhm.
write about you, so I'm just not going to need few details. I'm going to need little more detail, which I can put it into words. I can really tell people about who Faried Molai is and how he got the skin condition, how he was as a boy of 15 years, and how he is a man right now doing in the so well in modeling industry, and how he has overcome, and what you see in the future, what awareness or what good you want to do, what work you want to do in the future, which is going to change the perspective of the society. So I'm going to learn a bit more about you. Maybe I cannot, come to Netherlands and talk to you face to face, but definitely I can have a little small Zoom call, or even on Instagram, we can talk, or you can share a little bit of document, whatever it is. And I'm going to write
Yeah.
about you, and I'm going to share once I finish it off, that chapter or whatever, I'm going to send it to you. You read it through, you approve it, you say that, yeah, you give a thumbs up that, hey, it's good, and you can go ahead and you can publish it. So I'm going to
Mhm.
keep it. So like you, I'm going to maybe 5 people or 10 people, let's see how many people I get to write about. So I'm going to write it, and I'm not sure where I'm going to publish it, but yes, I'm going to approach to publishers after that. So that's my plan right now. I'm
Okay.
not thinking about financially independent. I don't know how would I get it, but what I was thinking is, maybe if I get into something mostly about public speaking or motivational speaker, where I can also share the people experience with whom I've spoken to, or also my experience. Because, not a lot of girls in India are in my position right now and have the courage, but I want them to take this courage. Here, one
Mhm.
thing which a girl is very idealized about is, getting a good job, getting an education, and getting married and bearing children. Like, you actually have to prove that you're a girl, become a mother, and nurture them. But what about your dreams? Nobody's gonna ask you
Yeah.
that. What do you want?
True.
Even today, my father, he knows that I'm earning very well, but only question in his mind is, why are you not getting married?
Ah,
So that question really stuck me, like, why the hell
it's
should I?
the typical question.
Yeah, why the hell should I?
Yeah.
That's my choice. That's not something which God has written in my destiny, that you are a girl and you have to prove the society by becoming a mother or becoming a wife or becoming a daughter. I don't want somebody to recognize me as somebody's wife or somebody's mother. I want to be recognized as who I am. Somebody should call me by my name, Sampurna, right? That's my name.
Very
And my
strong.
Yeah, and I want every girl, not maybe, I don't know, I cannot change 100% perspective of the society here, but I want to share my story. Maybe what little changes, what little decision that I have made in my life, and what it has changed me as a person. I want to share it with other girls, especially girls, I would say, because they really need this motivation. I know what a girl can do. I'm sure a guy can do as well. But being a girl, I really believe that we are put in a very difficult spot every time. You have to make a choice. Like even if you have to quit a job, you'll actually have to think about your family. How are they going to react to it? Whether they're going to allow me or not. But I have taken decision, not asking about my, I'm not asking to my parents. I've taken a decision and then I have told them. Or maybe when I think that a decision is very important, then I talk to them. I tell them. I do not ask them whether I can do it or not. I told them that this is what I want to do, and I'm feeling really strong about it and I want to do it. So many a times,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like many a times, my dad has completely opposed me. So, but then I love
Reminds
him.
me of myself.
Yeah, I love him a lot. And one thing that I've told
Yeah.
him is, there are going to be times when you're going to tell me something, I'm not going to agree to it. Or maybe I'm going to say something, you're not going to agree to it. But that's not going to, keep us apart. We still love each other. But it doesn't mean that I
True.
have to say yes to everything that you tell me to do. Or you don't have to say yes to
It's
everything
very
I tell
true.
you to, right?
Yeah.
I can have my own stand and still love you. So I've told him, I have not told him about this job because it's really gonna shock him a lot. But yes, I'll have to make him understand that what I want from my life, and that's not gonna give me, or that's I'm not gonna get it from earning money or being the IT engineer. I'm not gonna get it, and I've suppressed it for so long that I don't want to suppress it right now. And if I do it, what I think is, if you have a belief or if you have certain mindset or something which is going on in your mind, if you not let it out, if you don't live it, then what are you going to teach to your children? Maybe I get married, I become a mother, but what I'm going to tell them? If I'm going to tell them to be brave, was I brave enough to make my own story? I was not. I gave up. Somebody told me that it's time, and you should get married, you become a mother. I gave in, right? I did not fight for it. I did not want it, still I did it. So what I'm going to teach them? So I think that when I'm ready, I'm going to be ready. Nobody's going to push me before that. Nobody, not even my parents. That's my decision completely on my own, and I'm going to take it, nobody
Very
else.
strong.
So I
Yes.
don't know. Something which I feel really strong about. I want to voice it out, and I'm really not scared. Maybe I get beat. Maybe somebody is gonna beat me up someday for speaking it. So, but I really don't care. I'm not gonna shut up, because I think that if somebody, I see somebody, even in my relatives, I see somebody, or even my aunts, or some cousins, they are, I don't know, I feel that they're living a life in a cage. Somebody's asking them to do something and they're doing it, but nobody asks them, like, what do you want to do? So I want to tell all the girls out there, don't let people, or don't give people a chance to ask you what you want to do. Decide it for yourself. Decide it, and then tell people that this is what you're going to do, no matter what. And then there is going to be a place. I'm telling you, by my dad, there was a time when my dad did not speak to me almost for, say, 4 5 months. He asked me to do something, I completely opposed it, and he did not talk to me. But that
Oh,
step,
5 months.
yeah, before that, I didn't even have the courage to look into his eyes and talk to him. But that day, when I took that decision, I told him I'm not going to back off, because every time I saw that, whatever I do to make him happy, his expectations kept rising. Every time he tells me to do something and I do it, he becomes happy. But then again, he comes up with something else. He asks me to do it.
Yeah.
And everything, I feel that I'm doing something which I'm not happy about. So I took my stand. It was, I think, almost 5 years back. I think so. Yeah. 5 6 years back. I took my stand. I told him I don't want to do it. And then I did not do it. He did not talk to me. My relatives, my even my brother, my sister, my mother, they stopped talking to me. Uh,
Whoa.
but I was in that phase where I said, no, I cannot give in. I said, this is it. I'm not gonna give in. And I don't care that if not even a single person, even my dad, who's very dearest to me, I'm very close to him. I mean, I'm not so close to my mother, I'm very close to my dad. I told myself that if he loves me, he's gonna respect it. He's not gonna understand at the moment, but he has to. And that's what happened. After a few months, he called me up. himself. He tells me that, are you going to leave me? I said, I'm never going to leave you. I'm always there for you. But one thing I cannot do from now on is I cannot just keep, doing things just to make you happy, because I'm not happy inside. I'm really
Right.
suffering a lot, and trying to break the cage and do something which I want to do. I was never in a position to tell my dad that, hey, dad, whatever you said, I'm not going to do it. I never did it. But from that day on until now, I do what I feel like. And my dad, maybe he opposes at the start, but he understands it now. So I think if I had not taken that step, because a lot of time I get reminded by my friends that I'm too rebellious, or I'm too stubborn, or I'm too strong headed. And that shouldn't be the case, because your parents, maybe they feel bad about it, but that their daughter is doing something which is beyond the society norms. But I think I one thing I tell them, that I'm, as a human being, I have a choice. Like every day that I wake up, whether I live in my life as a prisoner, or whether I live my life taking a risk that one day every people out there is going to feel the same kind of freedom which I feel right now. So I don't care how many times I have to upset my parents, I have to upset the society, upset my friends. But if
Yeah.
I feel very strong enough, or if I feel right about something, I'm going to do it. And I really don't care if you're not going to support me, or if dad is not going to support me, or if anybody is not going to support me. I know that this is right, and I'm going to do it. uh, it's okay if it takes a month, or a year, or a 5 year, or 10 years to make somebody understand that what I'm doing is the right thing. But they have to understand. I'm not going to just put my guards down and just uh, surrender myself to something which I don't believe in. Why should I do that? I'm a human being. And one day I'm going to die, and not even my dad or my mom or my husband or my children are going to remember me. I'm not going to remember them. I don't know
Yeah.
what my life is going to be after I die. So why should I
Yeah.
waste it?
True.
Right?
True. Yeah.
So yeah, I talk
And
a
you
lot.
know, I, I, I really sense and feel that yeah, you feel so strong about getting this, getting the empowerment out there for women. You want to take the stand, and by taking the stand, you have to make the sacrifices in order to make an example.
Yes,
Because if you don't do it, how will you empower others to take the
correct,
same steps?
correct.
And for this, if that there's always a price to pay, whether it
Yes,
is the bond that you have with your father, or the respect you get from your family, or understanding from your friends, or whatever. There's always a price to pay,
yes,
and it's it's very yeah. I respect the fact that you are able to do that a lot, because it's not easy, it's not difficult, and you're also telling that um, it doesn't matter if you don't understand, but it's my decision, it's my path
yes,
that you want to take, that you want to walk. And if I may add something to that, um, if we decide to follow a certain path, our own path, that is unknown to other people,
hmm,
we should never expect other people to understand it,
correct,
because it's not their path
correct.
and they haven't seen it, they haven't
Yeah,
walked it.
yeah,
So um, I see that that's something that a lot of people do. They expect others to understand their choices
yes,
when they choose to go for themselves. But that's not the right mindset. You cannot expect someone to understand something that they are unfamiliar with.
correct.
But the fact what you told your father, that if you love me, you will let me walk my own way.
Yeah,
You know, this is how people should act, based on love.
yes,
And if he indeed shows the love he has for you, and let you walk your own path, that's something beautiful. And besides that, India is a country with a lot of uh, standards,
yeah,
and also, how do I say this in English? It's things have always been like this,
Correct.
from
Yes,
ancient
yes,
of
yes.
times. It's culture,
Yeah.
and things will not change that easily. And we are here in the West in 2021,
Hmm.
where in India, things like that are still households are still being run like it's maybe 1750,
Yeah.
or
Crazy.
whatever,
Yes, yes. Yeah.
standards like that. But it comes from how you are being educated as a child, and that same education and mindset is being transferred onto the
Yeah.
next generation,
Yes.
and so on to the next and the next and the next. That's how the culture and that yeah um, that belief in a country just like India is
Hmm.
it was able to keep things like that even still today in 2021.
Yeah.
And breaking beliefs like that is a big struggle.
It
It's
is.
a big challenge,
Yeah.
and it's very admirable that you and other people who are trying to make a stand for themselves, like women rights and the fact that women are equal and
Hmm.
not just someone's daughter, not
Yeah.
just someone's wife, not just someone's mother. We are
Yeah.
more than that. We can do more than that. We
Correct.
also have our dreams. We also have our wishes. We also have things that we can do and that we want to do,
Yes.
and we
Yeah.
can actually show you that we are able to,
Correct.
as long as you give us a chance to.
Yeah.
Don't put us in any boxes. Don't give us just any chores, because we are more than that,
Yeah.
you know and I really see that you do not only have a story that needs to be read, you also have a voice that needs to be heard,
Yeah.
because we are with a lot of different people, where people love to read
Yeah.
and read stories, and there are people who loves to hear and listen to stories.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you are able to not only write stories, you can
Hmm.
also tell stories, and not just a story, your story
Yeah.
and your purpose and whatever that you want to achieve and what you stand for. So what I personally think
Hmm.
is that you can do more than just writing. I believe you can also do public speaking or
Yeah.
motivational speaking.
Yeah.
I literally see you standing in a room doing a TED talk, because
I
I
wish,
really believe
like really.
no, really, I really believe that you can do that.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just an idea.
Hmm.
When you don't have anything left to write about,
Hmm.
well, I believe there's always something to write about.
Hmm.
But if there's some space left for you to do something else,
Hmm.
why not record a video? Why
Hmm.
not discuss a certain topic? Why not
Yeah.
share thoughts or send out a message?
Yeah.
Because I really see you have it in you, and
Hmm.
you have a camera,
Hmm.
you can record,
Hmm.
you have something to share, you have something to tell.
But do you
And
really
with
think that people
internet,
are going to listen to it? Because even I thought about this idea, like maybe I can choose a topic and record my own video and, maybe publish it on Instagram or Facebook anywhere. But one thing that I felt is there is a lot of people doing it already. And what difference am I going to make? But yes, maybe I can give it a try.
well,
And
that would actually be the same thing as me. There are, when I look at the vitiligo community, there are so many people who also um, create vitiligo awareness.
yeah,
So will it actually have effect if I keep doing it as well?
correct, correct.
Maybe I should stop today and,
No, no,
let it be.
no.
Those are the same thoughts,
Correct, correct.
but that's not how we should think.
Yes.
Even if it's just one person that
Hmm.
we might be able to reach out to, while those others are not,
Hmm.
there's still impact,
Yes.
even
That's true.
if it's just 1%. But you will be able to build it because whoever felt that impact
Hmm.
and was able to do something with it,
Yeah.
it will be a domino effect. That same person will share his teachings with someone else who might need it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that person will pass it on. And that person will pass it on.
Yeah.
So
It's
it
gonna
will
create a
it will keep
circle. Yeah.
rolling.
True. True.
Yeah. And building your community takes time. You have to
Yeah.
start with one. Everything starts with something.
Yes.
So um, you don't have to worry about will you be able to reach out to people, or will you
Hmm.
able to impact people, or
Hmm.
the amount of people that you will be able to impact.
Yeah.
Those are just numbers,
Numbers.
and
Yeah.
you have to work to those numbers.
Yes.
So at the beginning, I also was like, I thought like, does it have any effect? There are so many people with vitiligo, like more than 700 million.
Yeah.
And here I am with only a few hundred people on Instagram.
Hmm.
And will it make a change?
Hmm.
But as time went on, you keep going, you keep working through your goals because you have a true purpose.
Yeah.
And then you are building your community, you're building your network, and you're building your Instagram.
Yeah.
More people will see see your work, and they feel connected with what you stand for.
Hmm.
Then you become a magnet. You will attract the right people
Yeah.
slowly,
Yeah.
step by step, day
Yes.
by day.
And yeah.
So I really,
Yes.
yeah,
Please go ahead.
yeah, I really believe that you are able to do it.
I really think so, and thank you so much. When it comes to you, I've just spoken to you twice. This is the second time that we are talking, face to face, at least virtually. And, in this few minutes of time that we have spoken about our stories, you've shared your part of the story, and I've shared mine. And you telling me to take the step, which is something already there in my mind. It's just that what I feel is a virtual world, somewhat has become a mess. And I don't know if if I'll be able to put a light on it. But yes, this thought of recording my own stuff, maybe a poetry or some session. I've already done few recordings that I've shared it, but that's just about my poetry. I've never just spoken about a topic and shared it. Moreover, I thought that maybe once I go to Pune, I'm going to search for this kind of club where people come and they do this motivational speaking. And maybe I'm going to visit those clubs more often and try to understand how they get this opportunities to go upstage and talk about it. I thought to do that, but I'm not sure how that's going to work because people like that, I think they need contact or what they need, I don't know. Once I go there, I'm going to figure it out. But yes, meanwhile, I'm going to definitely do this. I'm going to start recording, I'm going to start talking about stuff. Let's see how I reach out to people and how I get connected to them, because my main motive over here as an Indian girl is really focused. Yes, I have different prime causes to my, whatever thing that I'm doing. But main agenda over here is because, it's really funny why your parents wants a girl to get married over here. It's a fun part from my story I'm going to share. So I just sat with my dad once and I asked him, why do you want me to get married? Like, I'm independent, I can take care of myself. And I have been living alone and I'm enjoying it. I don't have anything to worry about. Why do you want me to get married? And tells me that I want somebody to be there to protect you. I want a guy to be there if I'm not there in this world. And he suffers from some, asthma disease, which he's under medication. So he has this fear. he loves me a lot, and he wants me to get protected, be protected every time. So he tells me, if I'm not there, every time that I come across an illness and I think that this is my last day on this earth, I think about you. That what is life going to be for you when I'm not there? So I told him, I tell him that my brother is there, you are there, and I am very well covered or very well protected by you guys. You give me a man, you give me a husband who's gonna give me the same cover or same protection. Now just imagine that I come across a situation where nobody is there, like you guys are not around. How am I gonna protect myself? You haven't taught me that. You've just told me that every time I come across a situation, I should either look for my brother, I should either look for my father, or I should look for
Yeah.
help, look for somebody to, come and rescue me. How am I going to learn to protect myself? And I told him, I don't want to be that girl. I don't want to be that girl who always looks back on her shoulder and imagines or assumes that somebody is going to come and hold her or take her away and avoid some situation, avoid her to get into some messy situation. I'm going to learn that myself. That if I'm going to get into something very shitty, how am I going to develop that skill in myself that I can overcome that? I don't want to be saved. I really don't want to be rescued. I want to be rescued by my own self when I'm going to learn it. And I don't want to be like my mother. I don't want to be, I'm not saying as a disrespect. I'm really not saying as a disrespect. What they are doing is very applaudable, very respectable. Taking care of a family is not a small thing. Devoting your
True.
entire life. I wouldn't have been what I am if my father or my mother wouldn't have been there. But it doesn't mean that I want to live the same kind of life which they're living, right? So I told him clearly, I told him that I don't need a man. I'm going to decide on that when I feel that somebody or some I see that in somebody and I feel right about it. I'm going to come to you. I'm going to tell you that I have found that. Until that, I don't want to be forced into something. Everyone says, love is going to happen, you're going to get married, you're going to
Yeah.
find that love in that person. But what if I don't want to find it? You're going to put a diamond in my hand, it's just a mere stone for me. If I don't value it, it's not going to be a
True.
diamond. I'm not going to say that, yeah, I have a fortune in my hand, I'm going to sell it and I'm going to earn billion. It's just a stone for me, I don't value it. So I don't care if you get me a guy who is earning well or who has a very well developed family or whatever it is. What's that use for me? I'm not asking for it. I'm never going to ask for it because I want to build my own legacy. I want to have my own story to tell. One day when I'm going to die, I'm not going to pinpoint to anybody that because of you, my life was ruined. Because of you, I got into this mess. I'm going to create my own mess. Even if I fail
Yeah.
in my decision, it's going to be my decision. I'm going to blame myself that, hey, you could have done better, right? You could have done better. You got into this mess. Now get out of it yourself without looking for help. I want this feeling in at least 10% of Indian girls out there. I know of people, I know of girls, I know of women who are working, who are at a very, great position in companies, but still, when they go back home, all they are asked for is whether your children were looked after by you or not, or whether did you feed your children or not, or whether are you a good mother or not, are you a good wife or not. I don't want anybody to even dare ask that woman a question again. She is doing something to feed you, to make your life well deserved. You did not ask for all this luxury, but she is providing you anyway, right? In return, what is she asking for? She's not asking for anything. Did you even sit by her side and ask her, like, whether the job that you're doing, did you really ask for it, or is this what you want to do? Nobody asks her anything. We do not sit by our mother's side and ask her, like, you have been doing this for 36 years. Is this something that you would have wanted to do if you were given a choice of a job at the start of your, a career, or your when you were young? She would have had
Yeah.
different answer, right? She would have said, no, I would have taken a job instead of taking care of a family. So I say that nobody holds the right to run your life. You hold it in yourself. It's just that you have to realize it. And yes, it's not going to be easy. It's never easy. You have to face your own parents, you have to face the most loved person in your life, and you have to look them in their eyes and say that what I want is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. And are you going to support me or not? It's completely up to you, because I'm not going to force anybody, because it's my life. It's my journey. It's my path. And whether you walk with me or not, whether you stand at one point and just look at me walking by, is completely up to you. But this is what I am. And if you accept it, well enough. If you do not, then also it's good enough for me. Because it's, people say that you need somebody in life. Yes, it's true. You do need, but that person shouldn't define you. That person shouldn't be
Mm.
there with you because, you did something which they liked. You love somebody because they look good. You love somebody because they have a good life. If you love somebody that so that they can provide you, no, create your own story. You can still have a life with somebody else by having your own life. You have a 70 years of lifetime, or maybe 80 or 90, who knows. But if you entirely dedicate it to somebody on your deathbed, somebody is going to ask you, or you yourself is going to ask you, what did you do for yourself? Because once you die, maybe those people, they're just going to remember you for a year or two. You're just going to be a memory. Somebody's going to tell, hey,
Yeah,
that lady was there, who was my mother, who was my wife. But what is your identification? Nobody else knows about you. What's your story? Nobody's going to tell you, or nobody is going to tell anybody else. They're just going to tell, she was my wife, she was my mother. That's it.
that's it.
So create your
Yeah,
own legacy. Who's stopping you? It's not, world has not given a bar that only 10,000 people can become a well-known face in the society. Nobody has told that. Nobody has said that if 10 billion people reaches the stature that 10 billion people has become a very well-known face, the remaining people should and must stay below them. Nobody has said that, right? If we are 2 billion people or 3 billion people out there, or even the entire world can work towards that story, can work towards them, can be known, you and me talking like this, nobody has ever imagined. I never imagined. I never knew you even
yeah.
existed. You didn't know I existed, but we are
Likewise. Yeah,
communicating, right? So something would add up, something would click, something would work. You don't need anybody to tell you that. You don't need anybody to tell you that, hey, you're going to make it, right? You have to believe it in yourself. And I want every girl, maybe please give that 1% chance to yourself. It's okay to be selfish. It's okay to be called selfish. It's okay to be called stubborn, but live that life at least once. Give that 1 year at least to yourself and compare it with the rest of the years that you dedicated to everyone else in your life, and see what makes you more happy, either living your own life or living somebody else's life. So you're going to know by yourself. And I have realized, like, I've been suppressing my thoughts for long years. Like, I have spent my entire childhood, trying to make my parents happy by scoring more in the subject or being a good, studious person. But I was never happy deep inside. But being a child, I never knew what happiness was. I just saw my parents smiling, that made me happy. I just saw my sister or my sibling smiling and hugging me, that made me happy. But as I grew up, as I started realizing what happiness actually is, and it's not, something which is stationary. It's going to change. One moment you are sad, one moment you'll be happy. But you have to try to understand that what is going to take, what is the thing which is going to make you happy or give you that peace inside you in the long run. Because one side of your life you're trying to impress your parents, or maybe trying to make them happy or provide them the life that they need, and the other side you're being questioned, like, why are you not married, or why are you not very obedient, or why are you not agreeing to the fact that your parents are very far from, why not staying? People are going to throw questions at you. Why are you not doing this, why are you not doing that? And you are still going to end up listening to them and started getting depressed, that I'm not good enough for anyone. I'm not good enough for my parents. I'm not good enough for myself. You'll start questioning yourself. You'll start doubting yourself. But once you realize that these things will continue, even when you follow your own path, people are going to respect you, not just love you. People are going to respect you, that you are somebody who took that step, stood by yourself, even if nobody was there for you. And they're going to respect for you for that. I respect my dad because he has built his life on his own, and starting from the scratch, nobody supported him. So I question him, why can't I do that for myself? Just because I'm a girl, I cannot do it. So I tell him that I have seen you since my childhood. I've seen you as a person. I've seen you as a role model who has stood for himself, who has fought with so many people just for his family, just for himself. And you did what you wanted to do. So why can't I ask for the same thing? Why can't I do that same thing for myself? Does things have to be different when it comes to me? Why? So he just tries to understand, but yes, he's a father, so he has his own
Yeah.
doubts. But I can't help it.
I think deeply inside, he believes
Yeah.
somewhat, what you are trying to explain. But maybe it's just a fear as a father, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe I don't know because I'm not a father. I don't have
Yeah.
children yet.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I really think that things like this needs to be heard more.
Yeah.
And if you need something to be heard more, it needs to be shared more.
Correct.
So, answer to your question, will it make a difference if you are sending messages out there, whether it's by poetry or with videos, even if there are maybe so many others out there who are doing the same thing? Yes, yes, things need to be heard, and maybe the topic is the same,
Yeah.
but the messenger is a different messenger,
Correct.
you know? So it really makes a difference that a different person discuss the same topic.
Yeah.
And just and only because you are a different person, people will listen to you
Yeah.
because it's still a new experience.
Correct.
And this time it's from your experience.
Yeah. I'm gonna
And
try.
maybe with the community that you are going to build,
Mhm.
you will also be able to share experiences from other women there in India.
Yeah.
And because each woman is a new messenger,
Yes.
so people will keep listening
Yeah.
because there are so many experiences, different experiences that needs to be heard, even if some situations or even if the topic is the same,
Hmm.
the story is not the same.
Yes.
Just like what you told before
Yeah.
here with
Yeah.
the vitiligo community, we experience the same skin condition, but we are all different people with all our own story.
Yes.
So the same goes for you.
Yeah.
Have faith, have
Yeah.
faith in your purpose. And honestly, I really believe you are able to create new boundaries.
I hope so.
And I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to wherever you are going.
Yes. And I really, I hope that this communication that we have just to create awareness in the society, we don't just stop there. I hope that maybe we don't know each other, but we have some positive cause which we want to take care of, and which we want to take forward. So we stay connected. And I hope that, someday, I'm not sure when, but someday we get to see each other as well. Because what I believe is something just doesn't happen by chance. If you get connected to somebody, even virtually these days, virtual reality is the is the actual reality, right? So I'm really
Yeah,
fortunate, maybe through somebody I at least got to know you. I got to interview you first time. And it doesn't happen with everyone. You just get that instinct that this person is not right, or maybe the cause that they are trying to explain, that they're just doing it for the sake of it, right? It just happens so rarely that even if you don't know that person, you just talk to them, or you just communicate them within few minutes or an hour or so, and you understand them. So I feel that from your side, I do not just see you as a model or as somebody who has a skin condition. I see in you a person who really is trying to bring that change, and who's really has that right cause in his heart. And I really believe that, Fareed, that one day you're going to make a very great deal out of it. People are going to know you, and it's not great,
Thank you.
it's not a big deal, that every once in a while you just get invited on a stage, or you people are there, thousand or billion of people, they're clapping for you. But it's really necessary when people are not around you, what the things that you're doing, the integrity that you carry with yourself, that's very important. So you have already, almost 15 years of age, and now 30, 15 years you have spent, trying to realize like what the skin condition is, trying to overcome, start learning new things, not just in terms of technology, also social well-being, also standing your inner self. You've learned a lot. And I really respect somebody who has that courage to stand for themselves. I really respect them. I don't know, I have this instinct that when I talk to somebody, or when I don't know somebody, and when I'm talking to them, I get this vibe. There are some time when people, maybe they assume that I'm a little bit rude because I don't talk to them. It happens to me when I was working, but I don't know, I just feel that vibe, that this person is not right. And if that person
Yeah.
is not right, I don't like to invest even a minute with them. I really don't. I don't know, I feel that vibe. But if the person really connects with me, and I really feel that what they're doing is really great, or is really, applaudable, I really try to, understand them more, and try to invest whatever the way that I can help in, maybe sitting with them, talking to them for a minute, or giving them some advice. They are well experienced, they are well wise, they're very experienced person. But sometimes you need somebody to tell you that what you're doing is an amazing thing, because you keep telling yourself that, right? But you need people to tell you as well. So yes, what you're doing is really great, and the support that you have shown me for it is really overwhelming for me. I couldn't have expected this. I don't know, there are people that you know already, they are your friends, but you have not known me. But still, every time I've approached you, you have always been very quick, very supportive, very, uh, enthusiastic about, yes, I'm definitely going to do it. Because when I told you that I'm not with Vaporwave anymore, and I'm trying to carry this individually, you showed the same kind of eagerness. You showed me that yes, you can do it, and I'm there for you. So it really means a lot to me. Like, really, I'm telling you, I'm really humble. And I hope that maybe this video, this conversation that we have, reaches to as many people as it can. And maybe 1 or 2% out of it, we are not expecting more, but at least 1 or 2 people out of it take something positive and do what we are trying to do here, share this message, or share something which happened with them, or try to improve themselves. So I'm just looking forward to it. And as you said, we are going to continue with this. Let's see what life holds for us in store, right?
Indeed.
2021 has just
Yeah.
started, and let's see. I'm just keeping my finger crossed. I'm not thinking about what is going to happen in February or March or April. I'm just going to
Mhm.
live in January, and I'm going to think what I'm going to do in this month, right? So let's see. Yeah.
Great.
So thank you, Farid. Thank you so much for giving your time. And I really hope that we get connected like this, and we do more such thing, by creating something for other people, or even sharing our stories. We do that, we support each other, and we move forward. And let's see, maybe
Yes.
you come over India sometime. Maybe you get an assignment
Oh,
here.
I wish. Yeah.
Yeah, you get an
There are so
assignment here.
many
Get
people
come.
I want to meet in India.
Yeah,
You are also one of the people I want
yeah,
to meet.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, who knows? If not this year, maybe at least within the upcoming 3 years,
Yeah,
I want to visit India. But
definitely support
just
that.
as you say, let's
Yeah,
just live at the present right now.
yes.
Because if one thing we've learned from last year, things are getting really unpredictable, and we
Yeah,
don't have it in our own hands.
correct.
Some things we can take into own hands, but there are also a lot of things that we are not able to have in
Yes,
our own hands. And yeah, just so you know, I completely support you and your purpose. I respect your mindset. I respect yeah, everything that you have shown, your feelings, your way of thinking, your courage, your story. Those are not things that you just can share with anybody.
correct. Yeah.
So I really respect that you are able to share this again with
Uh-huh.
me. And if there's anything else that you want to ask me or share things, or you have an accomplishment and you
Mhm.
just want to spread, your victory,
Yeah,
you can always reach out to me, or if you want to have
definitely,
another talk.
definitely.
It doesn't matter if it's about another subject, or
Yeah,
just
yeah,
exchange of thoughts.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can always reach out and we can do another video call.
Definitely, definitely.
So yeah, I believe we made friendship.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's keep that in existence.
Correct, correct. And it's really amazing how we came together with this cause, and then we have known each other, and we just get connected just because we have this thought in our mind that there's somebody who's doing right and who is living the cause. He believes in something and is doing something towards it, and I have the same cause. So it's really overwhelming to see that what people connects and how something which makes two strangers connect with each other just because they have the same mind thought, maybe a different path, or maybe a different story to tell out to people, but the right set
Yeah,
of thought in their mind. So I feel really lucky that 2020 gave a lot of unexpected things to me and very unexpected friends as well. Even Jyoti has been really supportive. Akash,
yeah,
he is, and people are whoever contact that you have given me. Not everybody responded to my message, but yes, there were a lot of
okay,
people who responded back. And when I talk to them, I do not feel that they are very very people who are very well known and very respectable and are already doing something really great, and I'm nobody in front of them. They talk to me as if they have known me for so many years, and they talk to me so freely, and whenever I tell them that hey, I need this help, and they are very like, oh, please go ahead, we are there to support you. So that's really humbling for me, very humbling experience. And yes, this friendship would
beautiful
continue,
to hear.
Fari. And let's see, if you also need anything from my and any help. I'm not sure how can I help you in any way, but I'm definitely there as you are there for me. And let's keep spreading this message, and let's do something in the future as well which can at least try to uplift people in the society, because there are a lot of people who are doing very great things, great works in the society, but not a lot of them have the right mindset, and that needs to be corrected. If somebody in modeling industry just thinks about their beauty and just thinks that how great I am, and not thinking about what impact that they can cause, because they become somebody, a figure that somebody look up to, right? A lot of people look up to you, and when they see you spreading such kind of messages, they feel that hey, somebody I look up to is doing so great, he believes in this thing, so why can't I also believe in the same thing? So we actually, when we do things, we do not realize how many life we are touching or how many life we are impacting. But when you see the outcome, you really feel amazing that what I'm doing is actually making difference in people's life, and that's what keeps you going, and that's what connects you. Like, you have connected with me, I've connected with you, maybe we're going to connect more people in the coming future. So let's just keep our hope positive, and let's see what we can do
Yes,
in the future. Yeah.
indeed.
So thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a very long talk here, and I'm not sure if people are
No,
going to
thank you.
completely listen to it, but yes, I'm going to put it across. And thank you so much once
Mhm.
again to just connect with me and have this conversation for
Yeah.
it. It was
I'm
really nice.
glad I was able to help, and thank you also for this opportunity, and once again sharing your purpose.
Yes. So thank you so much, and you too, take care and have a great year ahead, Fareed. Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah,
Speak
thank
to you
you.
soon.
Speak to you soon too. Bye. Take care.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.